Me, personally, I believe we live in a dystopia. It's too crazy out there, like there's too much to understand. And I believe that we're just not meant to understand every single thing. The more we try to understand, the crazier it become. I think the only person, if we would cast one person, but I don't think that's possible. But I think you just have to be crazy enough to be able to change how things works, how they're made, because I just don't feel that I have the energy, physical and mainly mentally, to understand and change others. Like sometimes I understand or I see the perspective of the way people see the world, and I'm like, I don't think you're right. Let me try to change your mind. And it's like, that's your belief and this is mine, and I'm trying to make you change and see what I believe is the truth. But and it's like, it just takes too much out of me, and I don't have that personally to change people's mind. If you want to, I think it's easier. It's just a hard thing. And this book, Red Rising, the name of the first book, but the whole saga is Red Rising, is the description of a dystopia. Buckle up. So, this book we have Darrow, and he's just a boy. You know that thing of just a girl? He's just a boy. So, first of all, I would have to explain the whole setup. So, imagine we humans who ended up making it possible to live like in Moon, in Mars, Jupiter, and whatever. And then like we had like a whole evolution. We as people, our genetics, every single thing is just crazy. So in this setup, in this universe, in the future, we will be divided by colors: high colors, mid colors, low colors. We have the low colors. We have browns, obsidians, pinks, and reds. Reds, they do manual laborers and miners. Um, First of all, the color is not just like the way you dress, it's your red, your hair, every single thing about you. Not your skin though, but like the skin is kind of changed a little bit as well. And as an example, in this world, if we would be like going, if we think about privilege, I think the high colors would be like certain people that have more privilege, and the low colors would be those that don't have privilege. And I'm not gonna think about skin colors, I'm gonna think about like class. We have the rich, the mid class, like poor. And then even in that, we have like sometimes regions, like xenophobia is a thing. Racism is also a thing. So, you know what I mean. It's not exactly that, but like in this world, our here world, we have those examples for you to think about. The pinks, they do pleasure, they are pleasure slaves, and they do social functionaries. Functionaries. Yeah. And then we have the obsidians. They are elite soldiers and bodyguards. And we have the browns. They are servants, cookers, and janitors. Then we jump to the mid colors, where we have blues, yellows, greens, violets, oranges, and grays. The grays, they do regular soldiers and police works. Oranges, they do mechanics and engineers. We have violets, they are artists and other creative type of S. Um, greens will have programmers and technicians, the IT guys. Yellows, the doctors and researchers. The blues, they do bridge crew of starships and pilots. And then we have the elite, the high color, the ones with the privilege in their hand, the one to decide how every single thing is going to work. Those people. And in that range, we have golds, silvers, whites, and coopers. Coopers, they do administrations, they are lawyers and bureaucracies. Whites, they do, they are like the judge, like, clergy is the name. I never heard of this word, but anyways. And then we have the silvers. They are the money guys. They are the businessmen, the financiers, the economists. And then we have the ones, the main ones. Okay, the main ones are because the story is about, because they are the one to hold every single thing. They're the one to decide how every single thing is going to work. They are epitome of, epitome or epitome? Epitome, I think, of privilege, of we hold the world. Then they are the rulers of the society. They're the ones to decide how every single thing is going to work. There's the one that have money. There's the one that have all the privilege that you can think about. And even though, like I said before, even here, like we have upper class, middle class, lower class. Within those classes, we have like the ones that are like poorer, and then we have other type of stereotypes. Like, you know, even the poor will have like those that are more accepted if they have these type of characteristics, these type of features, these things and that. So even in this book, like the low colors, mid and high colors, they have like subcategories, and then I'm not gonna get into that because it's just like it's confusing, and if you don't read the book, sometimes like it's too much information. But again, imagine this world, this dystopia, but then in the future in Mars and whatever. So this little boy, Daryl, let's call him the boy. He's the lowest of the lowest, and those are the reds. He's a red. This is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this and that gonna happen because it's spoilers, and he will end up infiltrating the ranks of the elite golds. So he'll get into an institution, he'll fake his identity, it's not a spoiler, and he will infiltrate with the golds, pretend to be a gold, because he wants to take revenge. And I get him, but I just don't have that strength. Not revenge in terms of someone in specific, but it more of like, why I don't have food, why I live this way while you live that way just because you are gold, or you are, let me see the high colors because I forget, you are silver, or you are like white. We are all people, and we all deserve like, you know, I understand the idea of meritocracy, but at the same time, there's like basic needs that we all need, right? So that's what he's after. He's not like, I don't want a mansion, but I want a house. I don't want like to eat lobster, but I want to eat food, like real food, be treated like a person. I want all of us to have like, he was looking for human rights to be like equal and fair. And that is his mindset. That was his mindset. Throughout the 3 books that I read, they are the main book, the saga. The others are like all sequel and side stories. But the premise of the 3 books are those that I just said. So we have the first book that I considered more of an introduction. The second book had fillers as always, but we had action. And the third book is where like pa, 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 things happened, and I was hungry the whole time. I read this book like last year, and it was at the end of the year. It was in December, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I was on vacation like in November, and then it was when I started reading the book, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is too good. And it is. It's so good. I was so fascinated. I think one of the main reason is because, like I said in the beginning, I believe we live in a dystopia, and the book kind of translated every single thing, but in a soap opera space type of S. And it was effed up because it was crazy. The book is crazy. The story was crazy. And then you may ask, what is in that book? It's it's a soap. It's a space opera, right? It's I kind of see it as like, let me think of words: justice, changes, revolution, fairness, equality, human right, and it had a little bit of romance, not too much though. It was the romance is not the main plot. It wasn't, but we had romance. We had romance. We had drama. We had a lot of things. And again, it's, I don't like to put top. At least I would like my top 3 books, but it's there. I'm gonna change just it's like always, but I love the book, and the whole premise was so fascinating. I think I would say it's one of the best book that I ever read in terms of character development, story development, and the and again, it's not that it was about what I believed, but I think it was one of the best description of the world that we live in, but in a book, and then with certain powers and fiction. So it was like our reality in a fiction, in a fictional uh, perspective. It was engaging. It was fascinating. And this is what I have to talk about the book, because it's just like I want to talk about this and then that, and then just spoilers, and I don't want to give you spoilers. But I would say, if I had to choose between this book and Mistborn Saga, I would decide to be shut, because I cannot do that. So that's it. See you if you stay. Next video. Like I said in the next video, drink water, exercise, stay healthy, don't eat sugar, those things. Okay.